The Trump campaign is officially making an all-in push in the swing state of Michigan. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, the presidency could be decided through the state of Michigan. Obviously, this is one of the key swing states that if either candidate wins it, in particular Trump, more than likely they're going to win the presidency. Both campaigns know this, but it appears the Trump campaign believes they have a golden opportunity waiting for them in Michigan as they officially meet with Arab voters that are planning to abandon Biden this fall. Yeah, a voter bloc that has been Democrat for decades now. It appears that there is a good chance, at least in the state of Michigan, the Trump campaign could win over a bunch of Arab American voters. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, I do want to be clear that despite the Trump campaign trying to win these voters over, it doesn't automatically mean they're going to vote for Trump. In fact, I still think in most states they're going to back Biden. But the key thing is, in a state like Michigan, if Biden does horrific with these voters, it could be the difference between Biden winning or Trump winning. So let's get into it. A group of Arab American donors and activists will be meeting on Tuesday for a private dinner in Oakland Hills, Michigan, with Donald Trump's former ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell. While Grenell isn't a member of Trump's campaign team, the former president has referred to him as my envoy, and Grenell is considered to be a top contender for a national security position if Trump wins the election. So this isn't just some random campaign official that Trump sent. This is Rick Grenell. Now, some of you might not be fans of him, whatever. I honestly don't really have an opinion, positive or negative, about him. But either way, the fact that Trump sent Grenell, which you can argue, is one of his top people that isn't directly with his campaign. The fact that he sent him to meet with these people, that's a significant deal. This isn't just, some low-tier staffer no one ever heard of. This is someone that has a good chance of being in a top national security position if Trump wins. That means the Trump campaign understands, all right, this is serious. This isn't just, a random dinner with some random people. These are voters that, while they voted for Biden back in 2020, they're not happy with them now. And the Trump campaign understands this, and that's why they're sending someone like Grenell to this meeting. Tuesday's meeting comes as Muslim Americans and Arab Americans are growing more dissatisfied with President Biden's handling of the Israel-Gaza war, according to people involved who spoke with the Washington Post. A New York Times Siena College poll released last week showed Trump leading Biden 57%, 25% among Arab and Muslim voters in 5 battleground states. This is a drastic change compared to 4 years ago when Biden won the same group 56% to 35%. That's not a misquote, by the way. That's a 50-point swing towards Trump. He went from losing this voter bloc by around 20 points to winning them by 30. That's an incredible swing for any demographic. I know the Muslim vote is small, but in a state like Michigan, they could be the deciding factor for who wins. And that's why the Trump campaign is putting a lot of effort into these voters. Because in Michigan, there is clear dissatisfaction with Biden, at least with the Muslim vote. Because back in the Michigan Democratic primary, there were some exit polls released that show 94% of Muslim voters voted uncommitted. 94%. This isn't, just half of Muslims that are mad with Biden, but they're going to come back around. No, 95%. That's not a small chunk. That's not a fluky number. That is nearly every single Muslim that voted in the Democratic primary voted uncommitted. And how much do you want to bet the other 6% voted for someone like Dean Phillips or whoever? That is atrocious. You don't see that type of numbers with an incumbent for any demographic. You don't see 90% of one voter block vote against one candidate. You just never see that in a primary, especially with an incumbent. Usually it's you win every group by 80, 90 points. Not in Michigan. He lost this group by over 90 points. Yahya Bashar, a Syrian-American physician who has worked with the administrations of President Clinton, Barack Obama, and George W. Bush, helped organize the meeting. While Bashar has not pledged his vote to Trump just yet, he is open to hearing what the potential Trump administration plans to do differently compared to the Biden administration. The fact that these voters and activists and donors, the fact they are willing to listen to Trump, which we all know he supports Israel, that is an embarrassment for Biden. The fact that Trump is vehemently pro-Israel, but these activists, leaders, donors, whatever you want to call them, of the Arab American community, despite that, they are willing to listen to Trump more so than Biden at this point. Just 2 months ago, there was a meeting at the White House where like 3 of the 5 people walked out on Biden. But it appears they're more willing to meet with Trump and his people than Biden's. Bashar criticized Biden for not enforcing sanctions on Syrian President Bashar Assad and said the administration's policies were a major letdown. It's too early to say Trump is the one. That's a reason we are hosting an event with his representative to see how he views the community and what kinds of things he will do, Bashar said. With the Biden administration, I was hopeful for better policy, but unfortunately, the delivery was lacking. Does this sound like a voter that's gonna magically vote for Biden come November? They're outright saying, this guy sucks. And we're willing to listen to the orange man, who we know is way more pro-Israel than Biden, but at least you know what you're getting with him. And that's why I think these voters, they're at least willing to listen to what Trump is proposing. They may disagree with it, but at least they know what they're getting. With Biden, it's every other week he flip-flops. I'm pro-Israel, I'm pro-Palestine, I'm pro-Israel. I hate both sides, I support both sides. He keeps flip-flopping. And these voters are getting sick of it. And I can understand it. If Trump did the same thing where 1 week he was, pro-Israel, the next he was, pro-Palestine. Granted, I wouldn't care about the issue that much, but I could understand it would get annoying real quick that he keeps flip-flopping. He promised one thing a week ago, does the complete opposite the next week. El Baisum, a doctor from Pennsylvania who voted for Biden in 2020, is now organizing for and financially supporting Trump's re-election efforts. The Arab community is particularly critical of Biden for not meeting with Arab community leaders in the first months of the Israel-Gaza war. Yeah, you just have someone that voted for Biden in 2020 now openly backing Trump financially, but also he's organizing for his campaign. These are community leaders. These are people that lead this group. And they're saying, or starting to say, hey, maybe the orange man wasn't that bad. Was he perfect on some stuff? Maybe not for us. But at least you know what you're getting with him. You don't know with Biden. Like I said, who freaking knows what he supports? Because it depends what the polling says to him. If the polling says support Israel, he'll support Israel. If the polling says support Palestine, support Palestine. He has no convictions. And now he's trying to backtrack what he said back in October. And now he's saying, actually, we need to back both sides and we need to protect Israel but protect Palestine. He flip-flops on it daily at this point. He is so desperate for support that he is risking the foreign policy of America, which is already destroyed, by the way, on polling numbers. It is getting bad. Now, I do think there are other reasons for why these voters are backing Trump, or at least they might back him. Not just the war in Gaza, but when it comes to the Middle East, with Trump, there was peace. There wasn't a brand new war starting every other day. In fact, there wasn't a single new war that started with Trump in the Middle East. Not a single new one. In fact, he was trying to bring the region to peace with the Abraham Accords, which, in my opinion, is one of Trump's biggest successes that no one talks about. And most people agree that know what it is, agree with that. They understand, yeah, that's a big deal. These countries hate each other, but they made peace because Trump was basically able to force them to sign it. Now, to be clear, that doesn't mean the region was all perfect. There were still some problems that needed to be fixed, but Trump was making the region trend towards a positive direction. It was getting better. It was getting more stable, more peaceful. And these voters, I think, realize that now. They're like, hey, 5 years ago, with Trump, there wasn't brand new wars starting every other week. There wasn't a bunch of civilians dying. It was, relatively speaking, peaceful in the region. With Biden, it's the complete opposite. We're going back to the days of Bush and Obama where every other day a new war starts, bunch of civilians are getting killed for no reason. It's awful. But also you got issues like the economy, inflation. That's another part that I don't think a lot of people are understanding, that the economy is still a big issue with these voters as well. It's not just the war in Gaza. Yes, the war in Gaza is obviously the number one issue for these people, but that doesn't mean they don't think the economy is bad. In fact, it's the opposite. They think the economy sucks. They believe inflation's a big problem, and Biden does not know what the hell he's doing on that front. He's so full of shit that, oh, the economy is surging, Bidenomics, everyone. Really? You think these voters are gonna buy that crap? They don't. But the biggest question is, will this even impact the election? Like, even if Trump does this much better with these voters, would this even change anything? Well, in states like Wisconsin, states like Pennsylvania, maybe not. States like Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, of course not. Those states, it won't impact anything in. But Michigan, the state of Michigan, it could have the biggest impact, and that's why the Trump campaign is doing this. And it's set, of course, in Michigan. These voters, at least here in the state of Michigan, they make up around 2 to 3% of the population. Yeah, 2 to 3%. Because of Dearborn, which is right outside of Detroit. Either way, these voters in 2020 voted for Biden by like 30, 40 points. Now the same polls have him losing these voters by 20 to 30 points. That's a 50-point shift. In a state like Michigan, that could decide the election. Granted, Arab Americans single-handedly cannot flip the state to Trump. But if he's doing this much better with Hispanics, African Americans, hell, even if he does slightly better in a place like Kent County, if he really does 20 to 30 points better with Arab voters, Biden might not have a pathway in Michigan. Which I know that sounds crazy, but it's reality. You can't do that much worse with every single demographic that vote for you. Not by 1 point, by 30, 40 points. You can't do that much worse with them because that's your main core. That's your vote. And they're bailing on you in large numbers. The fact 94% of them voted against you in the primary, these are not good numbers for Biden, especially in Michigan. And this, in my opinion, is the biggest all-in push for the Trump campaign here. The Arab vote could be the reason Trump wins Michigan, which is just absolutely crazy to think, but the numbers don't lie. A 50-point shift with this group could be the deciding factor. And if Trump wins Michigan, he's winning the presidency. Because at that point, more than likely, he's winning Wisconsin. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.